just got started with programming. But now the problem is, you've been learning this programming stuff now, you've reached at a point where you're no more understanding anything. You're not able to figure out how to even start building a project. Don't worry, we've all been there. Now that you're finally beginning your programming journey, how can you do to move on? How can you do to be at a level where you are actually comfortable with what you've done or with what you're doing and you're actually improving? Watch this video to the end. I'm going to explain you a very simple thing you should start doing now, which is going to take you from down to up here in your programming journey. So this is a problem I get a lot, especially with people who start directly with web development. And why do they get this problem? Is because when you start with web development, you start with things like HTML and CSS. But now HTML and CSS are not programming languages. HTML is a markup language and CSS is a styling language. So when you come off HTML and CSS and go to something like JavaScript, you ultimately get stuck because the concepts you have to understand in these languages are totally different. JavaScript started off as a scripting language, but now JavaScript is a programming language. Everything you see in all other languages are present in JavaScript. So a lot of beginners who start with web development, when they get to JavaScript, they get stuck, and it's totally normal. But now, when you're stuck in JavaScript, how do you do to get out of that state of being stuck and actually start understanding what you're doing and actually start, knowing what you're doing, building real projects and putting in your resume and stuff like that? The first thing you have to understand is that you do not have to rush. I know finishing HTML and CSS in 2 weeks sounds very fun. When I say it's finishing in codes, because you can actually finish CSS. CSS is actually really complex, but going through HTML and CSS in a span of 2 weeks is very fun. But now when you come to JavaScript, you realize that JavaScript, even after 2 months, you're still stuck on the same spot. You really do not know what you're doing, and it can get very frustrating, and it causes you to ultimately give up. So the thing you should do first of all is that you should not rush, and that is what this whole video is going to revolve around. Do not rush when you're trying to learn JavaScript. Go step by step. You ultimately start learning about variables, data types, all those kind of stuff. When you're learning any concept you come across, after you're finished learning the concept, do at least 20 exercises on that concept or on that topic. I've said do at least 20 exercises on that topic before you move to the next. So if you reach on loops, for example, there are 3 types of loops: while loops, for loops, do while loops. Do 20 exercises on each of those loops. That is 20 exercises on for loops, 20 on while loops, 20 on do while loops, before moving to the next. This way, after each topic, after doing these 20 exercises, you're going to ultimately know what you're doing and you're going to actually understand it, because programming is about programming. It's about doing. It's not about reading theory. It's not about copying a tutorial and just pasting. It's actually about coding and solving problems. So I recommend doing 20 exercises because the exercise will allow you to solve problems by yourself. Because an exercise in itself is a problem. So it's a little bit like mathematics. Once you solve a problem in mathematics, it's difficult for you to forget the process. It's not about retaining the solution, it's about knowing the process that got you to the solution. So once you do 20 exercises on every topic in JavaScript, trust me, you're going to understand it ultimately. You're no more going to have the feeling of being stuck, because at that moment, after doing 20 exercises in loops, after doing 20 exercises in data types, and so on, you're going to ultimately know what you're doing. 20 exercises is not small. It's actually a good amount of work. So the most important thing is be patient. Be patient with yourself, be patient with your skills, because good things take time the same way as growth takes time. So give it some time, don't be in a haste, do not rush, do the exercises one by one, and ultimately you're going to get good at it. So make sure to share this video for anybody who is also stuck like you to actually get value out of this video. And follow me for more. If you have any questions, leave it in the comment section, because I'm going to do more videos like this where I pick questions from my comment section and just make a short video answering the question so you can get the most out of it. So see you in the next one.